Boys and girls, good morning. It is Monday. Time for another week. Time for another adventure in World of Warcraft, where we will desperately try and make the millions this week. The millions and the billions. We'll get there. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, anyway. Check auctions this morning. We're going to spend a little bit more time on Dairy Leah, my druid, who does all my herbing and mining. I was poking around with Legion the other day. I've got Legion mining up to skill 80. Legion is an app. Fun fact, I realised the other day that Legion is actually the one expansion where I have not maxed all of the professions out. I actually spotted in my achievements somewhere. Where's it gone? I'm actually missing some of the big... Yeah, here we go. Raise all primary professions to 100 skill points in Legion. And surprise, surprise, the one that's missing is mining. I've apparently never, ever actually got Legion mining to max, which I think is quite funny. I wonder if there's any subsequent ones from that one that would trigger. I don't know. Also, fun fact, I haven't done half of the tools of the trade from way back in the day. Never did all too much of this in BFA. I spent far too much time in BFA making all of the Dark Moon trinkets at the beginning. Then playing multi-boxing like an idiot. And then the tail end, after all these tools of the trade came out, tail end of BFA, I didn't really play all that much. Far too busy with the Shadowlands beta. So I might do the side quests for these at some point. But no rush. No rush. The fun thing is going to be getting these to rank 3. I've somehow got lucky and got Fell Slate Seam at rank 2. Laystone Deposit rank 2. I think it requires world quests more than anything else now. Got any mining world quests? Burning Fell Slate? 10 burning Fell Slate deposits. I have a sneaky suspicion, you know, that they give... I have a sneaky suspicion that they give... They give straight skill points. Do that one. Out of curiosity, just do that one. This entirely was not what I was planning first thing this morning, but when do we ever stick to the schedule? How are we all doing there, boys and girls? Did we have a good weekend? Nicely relaxed, nicely refreshed. We chilling? What's going on? But all these methods, all of it has left me broke. Nobody buys anything of mine. I mean, if you've left yourself broke, you just gotta you gotta do the hard labor. You gotta do the farming. You gotta do the gathering. If you've got no gold to leverage, the only thing you have to leverage is your time. Meaning that, you know, go out, pick something up, some basic materials. You got to be doing something I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, and I'll assume you're not doing anything seriously wrong. But you'd have to be doing something wildly wrong if you can't sell the materials, because on the region-wide auction house, they basically instantly sell. Yeah, don't try anything overly complicated until you've got quite a nest egg, because learning goal making is about trial and error to a degree. It's very much about sort of trying a few things, seeing what works for you. Some things will work, some things will not. Oh my god, nearly died. But don't give up. Don't give up. There's lots of... Oh my god, I'm gonna die. You have to try a few things and get it wrong a few times. Oh god, that nearly killed me. I hate this area. I absolutely hate this area. Let's try and quickly get back out of here. Which is it this way? Oh my lord, what's going on here? Flipping hell. All the tunes in my ears. Mr. Goldson, welcome in, my man. Good morning to you, or well, good evening to you, I would imagine, personally. Thank you for turning up. Thank you for bringing your crew. Hope you had a good stream. Hope you had a good day. You still on the midnight beta? You testing something? What's going down? It's keeping you busy. This is exactly what I imagine a WoW multi-boxer to look like. We have multiple accounts, yes. I don't usually do much what would be considered multi-boxing. Even my gathering I do on only one account. What's the Warbank add-on that you use so that you can see the entire Warband bank? Good question. Bagnator? Probably part of Bagnator. Same add-on author that does Auctionator and Point Blank Sniper and stuff. And Syndicator. Yeah, I think it's called Bagnator. It changes your bags to look like this, and you can have a similar interface for the Warbank as well. We're not getting a skill point for each one of these. Scammed. I thought we'd get a skill point for each one of these. Oh, don't fall down again, please. Plus Mouse, that's the guy. He's Oh, we didn't get any skill points from any of that. Scammed. Yeah, Plus Mouse is a very good add-on author. Creates very clean add-ons. Clean, lightweight, as much as they can, like nicely optimized add-ons. Laystone. It's that one. And the only 2 mining quests. Yeah, weirdly, Legion mining actually ends up being more about flipping doing world quests from what I've heard. Although that last one didn't give me any skill points, so I'm starting to wonder how the hell I get these last 20 skill points. No Midnight Beta, still waiting for the elusive build. Yeah, I know. We literally had a build for everything last week. Even Warcraft Rumble had flipping builds. We had a build for absolutely everything. Yet for some reason, no beta build. Which leads me to hope and wish and pray that they're cooking up an absolute treat for us. Because they've got to do. I mean, what are we now? Like, less than 2 weeks away from pre-patch. They kind of should, in theory, have it finished by then, you know? That's kind of the theory. Are we getting rid of only the combat add-ons or all add-ons for Midnight? It's combat related stuff that they've changed. Now obviously it's not directly up to them. They can't get rid of add-ons per se. But there is a lot of add-on authors who have, you know, decided to throw the towel in because of it. And that of course does mean that some add-ons that are frequently used for non-combat related things are also being caught in the crossfire. I mean, with weak auras just, you know, with weak auras not existing anymore, weak auras have thrown in the towel. There's a huge amount of weak auras that people use for completely non-combat related things. Which, yeah, will be no more, unfortunately. So it's not... I can see why it's slightly confusing, but it's by no means an all add-on ban. simply anything that is related to giving some advantage in combat has had changes made. You need to finish up the Argus ore, etc. Yeah, that might be it. I might need to... What's the Imperium ore or something? I can't remember its exact name. There'll be a few ways to get the skill points, I think. Imperium Seams or something, probably, isn't it? Wasn't actually my highest priority, but was something I realised that when I've actually... It's the only profession in the entire game that I've never maxed up. That it kind of has set a fire underneath me to get it done, you know? Setting up 13 out of the 70 realm alts on the Horde side. Oh, okay, you're pushing further into that path now, I see. There's yeah. Keep it simple. Keep your my one piece of advice is keep your add-on usage to an absolute minimum. Absolute minimum. Because what you'll find is you want your login and logout times to be practically instant, because you will find that over time you will want to quite often log into a character to do one thing, to log out and do it again on however many realms characters, which if it takes you 30 seconds to log in and 30 seconds to log out because you've got 500 add-ons, you'll hate yourself. Oh, we need to turn in a bunch of laystone ore for this, do we? Okay. This is actually quite an expensive world quest if we actually have to give these up, isn't it? So I've got to relist my auctions first thing this morning, but squirrels, you know, distractions. Does happen. Grizzlin Rose, how we doing? Welcome in. Good morning, good morning. Hope you had a good weekend. Yeah, creating an add-on profile specifically for your bank characters is essential. And it's the kind of thing that you might not necessarily think of, but it's absolutely essential. I need to reconfigure mine because a lot of those the characters have basically got an add-on profile that was designed for farming the Undermine. So they've got way more add-ons than they need right now. Going into midnight, they need a prune. 2 gig of add-ons isn't even that many. I feel as if I'm pushing terabytes sometimes. Way more than I need. It's only going to get worse as well. Like, the add-on bloat is going to get silly, you know. Kind of crazy. With all of those little things that you used a weak aura for, that now won't be weak auras. You got to hope that they turn into add-ons. Secondly, like, your add-on list and managing it and updating them all is going to be even more involved. WoW token was at 498 this morning. So I'm trying some token arbitrage. No, Rose, don't do it. Don't do it. Maths on it never works. Maths on it never works. Don't do it. It has to swing so aggressively for it to make sense. It doesn't work in the EU. It never does.
The Wardens have pledged to bring justice to this world, but we cannot be everywhere.
We've got a D in maths. That ain't gonna stop me.
Taking down a grave threat.
I know some people who got the D in maths ended up with surprisingly good grades. Am I just collecting more lace stripe? I am. checklists and anniversary quests. Yeah, it's just odd little things, isn't it? That's the these odd little things are going to have to turn into add-ons. Some flying pigeon or something. Oh, it's this thing.
We will not forget your aid this day, champion. The wardens are in your debt.
Oh, that thing came with a toy. Sure. 375 yesterday at 5 p.m. There's clearly some people who are like cashing out like hard for Blizzard balance. Yeah, it might. The funny thing is it might happen if, you know, somebody with 5 accounts cashes out all the gold that they need to upgrade 5 accounts to Epic Edition. That in one go, that player ends up buying like 30 tokens or something. That wouldn't surprise me if that's enough to like rip the entire supply of tokens available at any point. Yeah, the token is flipping yo-yoing all over the place at the moment. I don't know why. Where's all the ore gone? Yeah, Tomcat's a good person to get on board with. He could he's a smart cat. He can I mean, he already is responsible for upkeeping a fair few add-ons that have been semi-abandoned by their originals. I don't know how far his enthusiasm would go to like making brand new ones, but Woo's doing a cracking job of this Goblin Toolbox add-on. Every time I have a little, this one that's in the top of my screen here, every time I jump on the Discord, he's doing some updates and changes, and hopefully it'll be on CurseForge by the end of the week. Because I, for one, am terrible at remembering to update it. The only way I update my add-ons is I go onto CurseForge once a week and press yes to all, update all, and then walk away. And half the time I forget to do that. Pretty sure it takes more than 30 tokens for these kind of swings. I bought 25 tokens in the past several times and it didn't move. It depends how much of a backlog there is and how many people are doing it. Like I say, it might not, you know, you're right, it probably doesn't take much more than 30 tokens, but you know, if 2 or 3 people in the same evening decide to do it, I need 3 more flipping ore. Why can I not find any lacerite when I want it? I wanted to see if this world quest gave me any skill points. At this point, I'd have been quicker just going and hunting down more seams. Gold Mafia? Sure. The interesting thing for me is that anybody that actually understands gold making quite quickly understands that there's no such thing as a gold mafia. Because most goblins are out there for themselves. You're certainly not going to have, you know, honor amongst thieves when it comes to, like, market prices and stuff. Not in any form of scale. No, I know you were joking, but it's just so funny how frequently and how often it crops up. I'm like, you clearly don't understand the market dynamics, does it? Every one other person you directly get on your side, that's one other person that's one less sale you're gonna make. It just doesn't make sense. It's kind of funny how gold making is, you know, there's a market for it from a content perspective, but it's very much a solo adventure for the most part. There's a good chance, though, that lots of people have been able to cash out gold in order to pay for Midnight this time because of decor, because of, you know, housing and stuff. Is the housing currency coming? Oh, that's a good question. I have no idea. Hearthsteel or whatever.
Do you feel the change in the wind?
Oh, I got 1 skill from that. Legion mining increased to 81. Oh god. Turns out that last 20 points might be a little bit more of a grind than I expected. Right, well, let's park ourselves here for a few minutes then. Let's get some auctions relisted and then we'll Oh, why is Windows snapping not doing its thing? Snap in there. One of you. One of you. One of you. One of you. I'll do. I don't know if they're in the right order. You're paid for Midnight. Must suck not being a special golden child in Blizzard's eyes. I need to get myself into the EU partner Discord because I'm in a weird situation that I'm EU, but I'm in the NA creator Discord, which means I don't qualify for the freebies, which is kind of stupid. And to be fair, it's 1 epic edition anyway. There's the possibility I need 5 copies of Midnight, 5 epic editions as well. I haven't decided if I want to stump up the change for that yet though. And anti-beta because I'm going to be grinding it for the next 2 years anyhow. Depends what you're doing. There's a real difference to playing this MMO when what you put into it is permanent and when what you put into it is not permanent. There's lots of people who play the beta almost like it's retail, but they play it in a very different way because they know that everything they do is going to go away. For example, Kachak right now is running around achievement hunting, collecting all the achievements. Mostly because he knows full well that when the game's live, he will never, ever, 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 ever do that. So he does it in the beta instead. I know that when the game is live and you get sort of, you know, caught up in one aspect of the game more so than another, you do often miss chunks of it. Some people choose to do the things that they know they'll miss ahead of time on the beta, as weird as it sounds. 3 million gold per epic edition? Surely not 3 million gold, right? Is it really that much? I haven't done the maths. I haven't touched the beta since housing came out. This has done me dirty. Yeah, I'm just waiting for them to do the, you know, the big build that has the game in near release candidate mode. I'm not waiting as late as to see a release candidate. That will come right. We will probably be in pre-patch before we get that, but ironically, it can't be that far away at this point. Been a while since I visited the stream. My father passed and my former normal went into the abyss. Want to stop by, say hello. Well, condolences. It's always a hard time. Losing family members is never fun. But remember that you know, hobbies and relaxing is very important. Try not to let normal get too heavy. But thank you for stopping by. Appreciate it. Who's still stolen the mailbox? Right, we're going to see loads of gold in these mailboxes. Hundreds of billions. Billions of trillions. Yesterday was Sunday, so I'm kind of hoping that there was a few more decor sales floating around yesterday. Sunday before, last Sunday, we did reasonably well. Bought the most expensive version of the game, but that didn't give beta access. Wait, what? Epic Edition comes with... Yeah, it does. Oh, when you say the most expensive version, you mean you actually bought the physical collector's edition? Yeah, if you buy physical, then that doesn't come with digital perks. I made a big stink about this on the creator Discord at one point. That I think that's just a bit of a scam. They were like, oh, well, you can just buy a digital Epic Edition and we'll refund you as long as you request the refund within 6 months. But the refund is for store balance. So I was like, that is like horrendous customer service. Thank you, valued customer, who's given us more money than they really need to for the super duper mega epic edition of the game. Here's a shit sandwich if you actually want half the rewards that comes with. It's just terrible, I think. Genuinely terrible. Oh yeah, sure, just buy the game again and we'll refund you store credit. No, fuck off. It's just... it's crazy talk. But, you know, I'm as much of a sucker for this game and this company as the next man, so... People didn't throw a big enough fit the first time they did it, so they've done it for every expansion since. This is it. This is often... People who, you know... People often get thrown criticism for them making a stink about things when, you know, there's all of the, oh, it's not that big of a deal arguments. And the reality is you have to start screaming and shouting about things before they become a big deal. Because by the time they are already a big deal, there's no way it's changing. This is hence why the whole, like, store mounts and... oh, it's only cosmetic argument is flawed in my opinion. Because the reality is well, what does it lead to? And the fact that the gaming industry as a whole is not exactly well known for good customer practice. Blizzard, to give them at least some element of credit, are less gross than a lot of other companies out there. I use the phrase less gross. They still do gross things, in my opinion. They're just not as bad as some of the others. But if it maybe that's because their audience and their player base is vocal enough to, like, let them know ahead of time that it would be a bad decision. Yeah, I don't see why they sell the collector's edition. Just like, you know what they'll do is they'll take the they'll take the game license away from the collector's edition, and they'll just knock 50 quid off the price of the collector's edition. Or they won't change the price of the collector's edition at all, and they'll go, you will pat us on the back because we could have put it up because of inflation. You know, it'll be one of those. The price of nothing ever goes down. Nothing ever goes down in price. And it's unfortunately because of how general market economics works. Companies don't have the need to put the prices down. Most companies are just waiting for another company to put their price up so they have justification to put theirs up as well. That's why Apple has been treacherous for the mobile market. Apple basically gave every single mobile manufacturer the license to charge over €1,000 for a mobile phone. Bananas. Sure, I get their clever bits of kit these days, but they're taking the piss. Whoa! Politics too early on a Monday. Too early on a Monday. Haven't even got coffee in me yet. We're seeing sales on most of these realms though, which is good. 25k here. Couple of sales. Nothing big, nothing explosive yet, but you know, little sale here, sale there. Let it trickle in. We take. I apologise for the purpose of the stream and in turn also the VOD that even with only 4 accounts on the screen like this, I know a lot of the text becomes difficult to see on the stream. So no talk about Greenland? Yeah, probably not. Is it even possible for others to sell stuff when you're constantly reposting? I mean, if a few people are doing the same, it becomes hard, right? I mean, it's a simple scenario of that the person that posts their, or it depends on the item for starters. It's very, very important to specify that this does depend on the type of item it is, because some items have different rules than others. But for materials, for example, you know, the cheapest get hoovered up first, and if multiple people post at the same price, the most recently posted auctions sell first. That's just the rules of the auction house, and the rules are the same for you as they are for everybody else, and so players adapt to that. Hence why, you know, reposting your auctions more frequently, and even in some cases, the concept of cancel scanning becomes worth your time, which is to repeatedly post your auctions and then remove them off the auction house if somebody posts ahead of yours. It's not fun, and 9 times out of 10, it's not actually worth doing. But if you figure out when it is worth doing, it can be a very good way to sell a lot of stuff very quickly. First time they did it, it was promoted as a feature, so people were like, oh my god, this is awesome. Because it was before digital was the majority of the sales. Now they're just laughing all the way to the bank. Yeah, with the collector's edition, yeah. Okay, sales everywhere. Not huge sales everywhere, but sales everywhere again. This might be the Sunday effect. lots of people tinkering with their player housing on a Sunday when they've got nothing else better to do. What graphics settings are you on? Whilst, well, I keep my graphics settings pretty low. There's no, well, doing this sort of stuff, you don't need graphical fidelity, do you? I think I don't do anything particularly fancy. I just use the slider. I think I put all the settings down to like 3 or something. It depends on your PC though. You have enough stock, is cancel scanning worth it, or is it better just to post from stock then? I'm not going to go into great details about the methodologies because it's one of those where it's nuanced, right? Depends on the item that you're selling, to when it's best to do what strategy, and best is a loose term anyway. You do what works when it works. Sure, having plenty of stock does mean you don't have to cancel things off as frequently, which is often the play when, you know, if people want to sell a lot of flasks or potions or something, they'll cancel scan on reset day, because on reset day, you know most of the potions are going to sell, for example. And the easiest way to not have to cancel the same 10 potions is to have a stack of 1,000 potions, you know? It's still a practice that I actually find is not the best use of your time. Time spent cancel scanning should probably be spent, in most cases, farming more mats, if nothing else. Because if you post things at the right price, they will sell anyway, but it will take you some time to figure out what that right price is, and if that right price is profitable for you to do. 60k here though. Love a 60k realm. Take a few more of those. 20k over here. Plus 4 items. 26k again. Fountain. I tend to find for most things these days, if you're actually trying to scale up what you're doing, cancel scanning is your focus too small, I think, if you spend a lot of time cancel scanning. It's the it's the fault of Shadowlands legendaries again. Because Shadowlands legendaries, there was lots of value in cancel scanning because every single sale was 10 to 50k, which meant the revenue alone made it worth doing, even if the profit was skinny. Your revenue was so ridiculously large that even, you know, single-digit profits on 5 million adds up really quick, you know? Most people cancel scanning on things like potions and consumables and stuff could probably be better off just overcutting by like 10% and just walking away, because there's a good chance that they'll come back after 12 hours, 24 hours, and they'll have actually sold anyway. You'll probably make more gold, and you won't have to spend the effort cancel scanning. It's a bit of a, in a way, it's a bit of a trap. Cancel scanning is a great way to sell a lot of stuff quickly, but it is going to nuke your profits. Since when do I have to supply all of the mats for crafting order? For public ones, you do. You have done for the entire expansion. Personal ones, you can provide whatever the hell you want. Soulbound materials are usually required by default, though, regardless. Oh, another 20k here. 15k. Hey, I'll tell you what, we could be on for a better than average day. I think it is the Sunday effect, you know. Sunday's turning out to be a reasonably good day for decor sales. On average. Thought I just posted them with a high tip. Man, it must have been a while since I did an order. No. Public ones, you need to provide all of the mats. Hence the reason why nobody tips. Because at that point, they're like, well, I've done all of the hard work. The crafter presses 3 buttons. Public orders are a scam. I'd love to see them change public orders, but that's really not a rant for Monday morning. That gets real dangerous real fast. Real dangerous. At least let me get some caffeine in my system first. Is our druid still chilling in the background? Yes, good. $16k again. Nothing. Four pieces of decor. It doesn't need to be a lot. Doesn't need to be a lot. Obviously, more is always more, but a couple of decor sales on each realm I'll always take. Oh, I don't mind letting Ranthius out the cage occasionally, but Monday morning, come on. give me a chance. We can get a couple of realms with like some big 60, 70k mailboxes. I think we're good for like a solid day's results. And dare I say, if we've sold enough, it might be time to start looking at buying a bunch and restocking, maybe. Because, of course, you can only sell something once. $10k, $20k, $12k. Nothing. Oof. 21 items, no sales. Cold outside, you'll enjoy the blood running hot. It's true, it's cold outside. That's very true. The wife's in the office again today, so I had all of the dog walks by myself this morning. So I've spent a good hour outside already today. Boy, it's chilly. Whew. Passing me the ball. You know what we are, though? With having Legion near to completion, Zandalari, Shadowlands are both already done. Dragon Isles, I've got the skill up, but I have by no means fully finished herbing and mining with Dragon Isles. And let's be real, probably never will. Farming flipping dirt piles is not a direction I plan on going. There's still definitely some work to do on those. But Kazal Gar herbing and mining, I've not even touched on this dude yet.
Is that your wallet?
These are
You just
still
glad to see me.
these are still
Both
Dragon
of
Isles
them.
equipment. These are still old Dragon Isle equipment. So we've got that fun adventure to come, which I can't really imagine there's huge value in doing too much of, but completionism. $7K, $5K, $17K. Nice jeweler's table. Nice. Molten Death with a resub. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Good morning to ya. Hope you're having a good day. Hope you had a good weekend. Yeah, Molten Death 007. If that's not a Bond villain, I don't know what is. It's interesting to see on some of the realms I play on, though. It's clear to me that there is not that much competition on Decor. It's just about having your repost done at the right time. But I'm pretty sure now most pieces of Decor are syndicated across like every realm. I don't think there's any realm that goes to the auction house and is like, oh, that doesn't exist. I think pretty much any player in the game has access to the Decor now. The 5K, 7K. We only posted 2 items. No surprises, we didn't sell anything there. 5K here. I would have assumed Decor was region wide. Nope. Realm specific. And arguably for good reason. It's a cosmetic item, ultimately. So it fits in the same category as like pets, mounts, transmog, BOEs. Making it region wide would have also meant that they would have probably had to then make the lumber tradable as well. And it would have been basically dead on arrival for most people if that was the case. From a goal making perspective. But it stacks. It definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't. I wish it did. I wouldn't have so much flipping space in my war bank consumed if it did stack. There's I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's to credit for this. I wouldn't know who to pat on the back for this. It's probably not a single individual, but it's clearly being headed by somebody that has a goblin brain on them at Blizzard, though. Because the last couple of expansions, we've seen a few things that have been designed in a way that is clearly so that those people who engage with it have the opportunity to make a bit of gold. We've seen Lamented Crusader, Nax farming, ancient recipes. We've seen Mechanica. We've now seen Decor. There's been a bunch of things in the last couple of expansions that have sort of not within the traditional here's a recipe within a profession kind of thing. A little bit more outside the box ways of making gold. Which I've been, you know, pleasantly happy to see. It's kind of why my focus towards Midnight is way less on the professions, as I tend to believe that the opportunities for making big gold in Midnight won't lie with the professions, or at least they will, but not for very long. Obviously, whenever there's, you know, wherever there's arbitrage, like wherever somebody has to collect something and somebody has to buy something and somebody has to sell something, there will always be some profits. But the scale and mathematics of it all has proven throughout the War Within that even when the system is relatively complex, margins will be crunched to low single digits. Now, you take your foot off the complexity pedal, you remove some of the complexity, that is not systematic of making more profits in my eyes. It's systematic of making even less profits. Hence why I am not as 110% gung-ho on professions this time, because I just don't see it having very long legs. It's not to say there won't be plenty of gold to be made in the early days, because Season 1 is always Season 1, but I'm not going so hard into professions this time, because I know it won't last into Season 2 or Season 3. Haven't engaged with housing at all because the collector's editions haven't been sent out. Yeah, it's kind of wild. They should get those out to people good and fast. Traditional markets are overrun by bots. I had a discussion with the dev about it last BlizzCon. Basically, as much as they tried to handle bots, it's an ongoing issue, so they had to do something for players. Generally why all things goal making got more complicated, as it's then harder for bots. Yeah, I mean, the natural progression... Ooh, 43,000 gold. Hello, that's better. The natural progression of this game over the years is that every expansion that's come and gone, the meta has got more involved. You could use the word complicated if you want. It's usually not that complicated when you break it down. It's just different to what it was before. You know, those of us who are old enough who've played this game for an ungodly amount of time remember that the meta for goal making used to be put it on the auction house. That was literally it. Like, stop vendoring everything and put it on the auction house. And before that, the meta for goal making was loot the mobs, pick stuff up, then you'll have stuff to sell. Goal making comes from very humble beginnings, where it was like absolutely brain dead, dum simple on how to make gold. How do you make gold in the Burning Crusade? You craft gems and you put them on the auction house. duh. Like, that was literally it. And every expansion that's come and gone, it's got, you know, players have got smarter, the game has evolved. We've seen new features and new functionality and stuff come in. But yes, traditional, you know, one vial plus 2 herbs equals 1 potion is these days far too simple of an equation for there to ever be any reason for anybody to do it, because margin, especially when you add the region-wide auction house on top, both the best and the worst decision all at the same time. I was a big fan of the region-wide auction house being brought in, and the reason being is because it at least gives goblins everybody to sell to, right? When you have more customers, it's easier to make sales. Look how easy it is to sell materials these days. You put herbs or any sort of material on the auction house, and boom, it's gone, sold. Like, it could not be easier to sell those stuff. You only have to go like back to BFA, and I genuinely remember that in BFA people would spend hours flying around picking up herbs and ore, and then they would struggle to sell their herbs and ore. So in one regard, the region-wide auction house definitely made simplistic, basic, quick and easy forms of goal making even better. It was slightly countered by the fact that very, very shortly after we had Dragonflight, where they massively complicated the gathering systems. But that's another topic. The reality is the region-wide auction house was incredibly good for giving people the ability to sell stuff. But even that now has we have seen iterations on that to where people have got more clever. You know, these bait auctions became a thing very quickly. Ooh, another 37,000. A fountain and a table. Bait auctions became a thing, which was unfortunately always going to happen. But that was clearly heavily automated and botted. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Blizzard have felt the need to be a little bit more creative in giving players ways to make some coin in the game. And personally, I've liked what I've seen for the most part. I didn't go too heavy into Nax farming and the Lamented Crusader stuff. But I know to this day there are still people that farm Nax on a whole bunch of characters every week. And they just play the Gamba on old school transmog, and occasionally we'll get those Lamented Crusader pieces that I still think are valued at nearly 100k a piece. Now, the time and effort it takes to go out and get one is still questionable, but it still works, right? It still works to this day. Mechanica is probably one of the most evergreen farms that will exist in the game. And I think much like farming Nax, you'll see people in the Undermine farming Mechanica forever and a day now. Even now, every single Mechanica is still worth about 25k. And if you're savvy about what you turn those Mechanica into, and are more savvy about where you then go and list and sell those Mechanica pets and mounts, you'll make way more than 25k. 25k is the sale average, but there are ways to get more than the sale average, of course. That's how averages come about. Low numbers plus high numbers make averages. You want to make sure that you're getting one of the high numbers. Mechanica, that's my cue to go to bed. Sorry, Persephone. And Decor now. decor is a little bit more easier to get into. It has sort of, you know, similar barriers that, just much like Mechanica, you can farm up a Mechanica, but you can't sell it. So you got to farm up at least 5 of them before you can convert it to something you can sell. And lumber's basically the same without it having quite as high of a barrier to entry. You know, you have to go farm lumber, and you have to have a profession leveled up so that you can craft it into something, to then go and sell the thing. You know, there's a couple of stepping stones you need to hop on to realize the value in the items that you farm. Which, for the most part, is probably Blizzard's way of making it more complicated and more difficult and more risky for bots to do. Bots will take the path of least resistance, which is why bots will stick to basic herbs and basic ore. And in fact, even basic herbs and basic ore haven't been worthwhile bots farming for in retail this expansion, crazy as it sounds. They've been hiding away, or they were hiding away in Chromie Time hyperspawn locations, vendoring grey items. Because that was the best gold per hour that they could do 24 hours a day and not get seen by the mass public and not get reported. Kind of wild. But you'll never get rid of bots. So you'll never get rid of bots, because as long as there is value in something in the game, there'll be somebody outside of the game that'll be willing to use their real money to get it. So hence, bots will always have a customer. And so bots will always exist. But if Blizzard can, like, push them into a corner, out the way, and manage it that way, and keep them away from the main rotation of the game as much as possible, it's a step in the right direction, at least. Another 20k? Flipping out. Far too many items on this realm. Ooh, another 35k. Yo, Sunday's a decor day. I'm feeling it now. Sunday's a decor day. No cancel scans, no nothing. Just a repost at about 8 o'clock last night. Has managed to catch a whole bunch of overnight. Stay up late. Later housing Andes on a Sunday evening. Is this classic? No. No, this is retail. I don't play classic. Brutosaurs equal retail, yeah. Welcome in, though. More decor sales. Data for Azeroth. Upcoming changes. What's this? What am I looking at here? Should housing decor be included in completionism score? Yes. 90% of the votes. Okay, I see what you mean. So if data for Azeroth adds housing into it, then all of the hardcore collector Andes will need to go and acquire one of every pieces of crafted decor. I see. That's funny. 20k. 19k. More than anything else, I don't mind that it's just like 1 or 2 sales per realm here, but I'm just very happy that there is at least sales everywhere. Consistently selling something is all you can really ask for. I've seen bots mining and herbing in BFA the last few days using paladins with sky golems. Imagine how down bad they are. In BFA, what are they doing in BFA? You can often tell where the bot profiles are doing their thing, though, because the quantity of certain materials just all of a sudden just goes up and 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 up until it gets ridiculous points. And then it drops like a rock when all of the accounts get banned. Storm Silver Ores? Is that what we're saying? BFA has the... There's a couple of crafted mounts, isn't there, in BFA? Which is why, though, but like Monolite Ore, Storm Silver Ore might still hold some value. Completionists will craft their own. True. But as you also probably know, there's a lot of completionists that don't like the idea of up to maybe 20 hours of lumber farming to do such thing. I mean, the anything that's on the auction house has that same effect of being, you know, convenient. We have to farm it anyway. The achievements are coming. I'm going to keep 250 of every lumber in my war bank just in case something like I don't. They're not going to be retroactive, but if it go like if it's clever enough to go, oh, you've got 250 of this lumber, that means you must have farmed it. Here, have the achievement. Is a possibility, which I would, you know, I think keeping 250 lumber aside is useful. But I'm of the opinion that those achievements don't mean shit anyway, because if you're not farming on a druid, you're doing it wrong. It's just simple. Ooh, a Frost Wall Forge for 40k. Yoink. Yeah, the question is why are you not doing it on a druid? A level 10 Volpera druid or something. Perfectly fine for lumbering. Give them herbalism and mining. They'll get some EXP whilst they level up. You don't have to, you know, you don't have to kill anything anyway. There's no reason to not do it on a druid. Volpera druid convert. Oh, sorry, whatever. I don't know. More likely that the counter will only start counting when it goes live. Oh yeah, it's 99% the case that, you know, you'll have to start whacking trees. They'll put in some tracking for lumber with those achievements. This is why I don't believe that they'll be retroactive, because Blizzard simply is probably just not tracking anywhere how much lumber you've farmed. And if it's not tracked anywhere, then how can it possibly be made retroactive? Like I said, the closest thing to that is that, oh look, you've got 250 lumber. Boom. You must have farmed it then. Have an achievement. Can't do the War Within lumber on my lumberjack, and I'm genuinely too lazy to log on to another character. I 100% farm the War Within on my priest. On a priest? The slowest class in the game? I mean, I don't need to tell you, Persephone, but that's mental. Like, it's so easy to not do that. 12k. Only posted 2 things. No surprise, no sales. No sales here as well. I think we've probably seen then the majority of the sales for today, which is cool. We can, I think we've got 1 or 2 more realms maybe, but these are the bigger realms where I don't post all that much because they're more my buy realms rather than my sell realms. But in a minute, we can do some quick napkin maths and see what we sold over the last day. A speed druid's the play. That's the one thing I haven't done, is I haven't given my druid a bunch of speed gear to make them fast as fuck, yo. Especially since there is often times where you feel the need to run into a cave. Having some speed gear on the druid at that point would be kind of useful. Some context of what this process is. Well, at the moment, what I'm doing is I'm rotating. So I've got 4 accounts, and I've got about 20 characters on each account. And those characters are on every single EU realm. So there's about 80-ish EU realms. Or, well, no, there's more realms than that, but there's about 80 connected auction houses, is probably the better way to describe it. And of those characters, I post decor on all the different realms. And I'm at the moment just clearing out their mailboxes and relisting what hasn't sold. Most of this decor, I'd go as far as to say probably 80% of this decor is not decor that I've crafted myself. It's decor that I've bought, and I'm reselling it where it's worth more. Which in that context, yes, is mostly referred to as flipping. Buying something cheap, selling it for more. But decor has, you know, a crafting component and a farming component to it as well. So if you don't want to risk your own gold buying something hoping you can sell it for more, you can just go create your own and then sell it as well. I think you'd be pushed to farm enough lumber to sell on 80 realms, though. It's almost impossible,
Is that your
I think.
wallet? Or are you just glad to see me?
Yo,
Both,
Zell with the gifties, my man. Thank you. You've triggered a hype train there. Got the old hype train on the go. Goblin train, choo choos. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
That's very kind of you. Appreciate that. If you were the lucky recipient of a gifty, say your thanks.
Let's make sweet, sweet
Cortana,
profit together.
Zamash, Sakura, Buzz, and even Mr. K-Chat got himself a gifty. Appreciate that, thank you. Chew, motherfucking chew. Goblin train out and
your
everything on a
wallet?
Monday. Love
Or
that.
you just glad to see me? Both, I hope.
Right, last realms. Holy, 140k. Oh, snap.
Let's make sweet, sweet profit together.
This is worth full screen in this one. Well, that was not expected. Not anything huge, but just a bunch of stuff. This is sign of being in the right place at the right time, clearly. Well, that's definitely going to help the overall numbers for the day. Rug, cook pot, fountain, Freudian slip there, lamppost, and a bunch of things just under 10k. Cockpot sounds better. Yoink. Right. Well, that's definitely going to have helped the numbers. Right, let's get these last ones listed then. How have I ended up with so many flipping items on this realm? This is a realm I mostly buy stuff from. Maybe it's flip-flopped. Eschen Kessel, butchered that name. Apologies, Team Germany. But, that clearly was a right place, right time situation. Alright, let's see what we did then. Napkin maths. See if this whole adventure's been worth it. Last hour. Just so any of yesterday's random sales don't get in the way. So we got 332,148. Sorry, these numbers are going to be really small and probably illegible on your screen. You'll just have to trust me. Plus 174,317. Plus 299,790. Plus 241,284. Boom! Broke the million mark yesterday. Broke the million mark. RP for the win. Is it an RP realm? Is that what it is? Yeah, RP realms. Sometimes magic does happen. Well, broke the million mark on a Sunday, which is nice. Keeps the keeps the average up nicely. How do you tell it to TSM to post the item that you bought for a higher price on a different realm? I don't. I don't. I control most of that with what I pay for the items in the first place. I make sure I buy things cheap enough that when I resell them, I don't accidentally take a loss. And I'm going to be honest, for the sake of a quick sale, sometimes I would rather take less profits. But the reality is I don't. I use one single price source to both buy and sell, and I use a percentage of that price source. Now, I know over time that the value of that price source will change. So the emphasis is on me to make sure that I sell things relatively speedily. So yeah, the TLDR is I don't, and you can't. Well, the only way you can do it is by referencing your smart average buy price, but I'm not even sure smart average buy price really works on decor. It's more for like materials. Thank you for the hype train, boys and girls. It's Choo Choo is gonna make its way off the screen in a second, I believe. It's been puffing away down there. There it goes. Wave it off. See you later. See you later, little hype train. Come back soon. Really happy with that little thing. What did we get in the hype chest? Oh, wow. Choo, motherfucking choo. And broke 1 million in sales yesterday, which is cool. That gives me a little bit more chance to maybe go and spend a bit later today. I can see Woo's online, so there's a good chance he's hoovering up half the deals right now anyway, so I might leave it till later in the day. I want to get Yolndy Druid some more progress. We might excuse me. I might. Do we either continue trying to chip away? How do we possibly get skill points from Legion mining at this point? I'm at 81 skill. It seems only, isn't it? It's clearly seems only. It's going to be Fell Slate and Laystone seems. Been slacking on the auction house stuff, to be fair. Being a bit of a code monkey on weekends. That's maybe why I sold some stuff yesterday then. I'll take 1 million gold. For reference, by the way, because most of what I'm doing is flipping. This 1 million gold, obviously that's just revenue, right? Revenue doesn't mean diddly. But the way I think I buy things. Now, this does change ever so slightly, but most of the time I buy things if I see them sort of at 70% of the regional sale average or below. But I won't sell anything for less than, I think I've got it set to 110% of the sale average. There's about a 40% swing there. So most of the time, what I'm reselling, plus or minus a bit of fluctuation in market prices for things, is an average 50% profit margins, really. So that million gold of sales, if you were to actually calculate what I bought each and every item for, it's probably about 500k profit. But it keeps that sort of token a day's worth of profit in line. If I take a look at the last week, of which it's pretty exclusively been decor, because I've not been posting my other flipping stuff. What's the average looking at when we take the week's numbers? 1479881 plus 817354 plus 1363883 plus 2307711. 6 mil. So yeah, 6 mil. Considering the fact I didn't even post my auctions properly on Saturday, I'm going to consider that basically $1 million a day in revenue. It's funny, right? It's like this is a market that I consider very similar to Shadowlands Legendaries, but I would do 6 million in a day on one realm with Shadowlands Legendaries. Admittedly, it wasn't anywhere near as profitable. This is 6 million of turnover with probably 50% profit. So there's probably about 3 million gold profit in that, which is not bad for a week's casual reposting of decor. How would you... how would you start if you had to fully start over again? I'd do exactly what I'm doing now. Farm lumber, craft items, sell them. It's by far the best gold per hour thing in the game right now. There's not anything even close. Heading out, have to attend a funeral, sadly. Oh dear. I mean, I nearly said have fun then, but I guess that's not the right phrase when somebody's going to a funeral, is it? Well, you know, condolences either way. Housing is only on early access for now. I mean, yeah, but it still doesn't. The market is still a now market. It's not going to get any better when everybody has access to it when midnight launches, I don't think. I mean, it's going to take a wild amount of people buying decor to change the market much on it. Farm lumber, make decor, sell. Yeah. There's literally nothing that's even close right now. Nothing that's even close. Now, of course, you don't have to do it to this scale. You don't, when you start by farming decor, just take it easy, right? You got to do one step at a time. Figure out how you get the decor and figure out how you do lumber farming efficiently first. You're going to have to spend a bit of time leveling the old professions to craft with that lumber if you don't already have those professions leveled up somewhere. Some professions are also more frustrating to level than others, but the the reality is you can probably add about 100,000 gold, probably 50 to 100,000 gold every hour in sort of value to your account. Now, of course, it's going to take you a bit of persistence and a bit of time to sell that, to actually turn that into physical gold. But, you know, when you start stacking it up, the sales will start coming in more frequently. Too many people quit too quickly, honestly. Too many people quit with this sort of stuff far too quickly. If you only craft 10 pieces of decor, if you spend 3 hours farming lumber and craft 10 items of decor, people expect all 10 of those items to sell. Well, no, the reality is you'll probably only sell 1 or maybe 2 of those pieces of decor every day. But the point is you stack it up, right? You spend more time farming the lumber. You figure out the best routes. You figure out what works well for you. Figure out the expansions you like farming, the expansions you don't like farming. Level up a few professions. Level up a few more professions once you've already made a bit of gold. And quite quickly you'll end up with 20, 30, 50, 100, 200 pieces of decor for sale. And at that point, your sales will be a lot more frequent. I mean, I'm posting, you know, I don't know how many pieces of decor I actually own now, but I'm posting probably between 800 and 1,000 pieces of decor a day, probably a little bit more. But I'm making an average of about, you know, a little under 1 million gold a day in sales. Wow, housing is dead. Sky Golems is where it's at. I mean, feel free to keep telling people it's dead. The more people that think it's dead, the more sales I make. But Sky Golems are an interesting one, actually. Yes, there's probably lots of people who bought a Sky Golem recently. That's actually a really good point. Like, Sky Golems probably popped off. But, fun fact, Sky Golems are nerfed in Midnight. They don't work in Midnight. So, some people are going to be wildly annoyed. And it wouldn't surprise me if some people have, like, some Sky Golem crafters have exited the market because of that. If I knew how to farm with 5 at the same time, I would do it if it's allowed. I don't recommend people multi-box lumber. It's, for most people, it's already profitable enough to not multi-box it. Multi-boxing adds significant extra risk because you'll get banned eventually. It doesn't matter if it's allowed or not. You'll get banned eventually. I can't even count the amount of people who have come to me and told me and questioned and asked about the fact that they've been, you know, multi-boxing lumber, or they've been multi-boxing leveling alts on Remix, and their accounts get banned. So I'm not going to openly recommend it to anybody. Blizzard is at it again. Fun detected. Jargists and Sons Sky Golem Ye Olde shop is closing its doors. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know why they're feeling the need to change it. Sky Golem has been a relatively solid market for a lot of people for a long time. Not particularly huge profit margins, but equally not particularly very high costs if you are savvy enough at buying your mats when they've periodically got very, very cheap. You'd be mad farming lumber with anything less than 5 accounts. Well, Goldson might clearly have a difference of opinion to me on this one, but I will not recommend anybody multi-box farm lumber. You just will get banned. Some people are more than willing to risk it, but I personally am not. And the fact that I know it's an eventuality, I'm not going to recommend anybody else to do it. Seems sort of... I mean, I have every possibility to, yes, 5-box farm lumber, but I don't and I won't. Because I don't want to risk all of my accounts, if I'm honest. Is there a new gathering mount in Midnight? Not that I know of, but, you know, we only see patch 1. We only see season 1. Who knows if they've got something cooking for later on in the expansion. There was a spot in Suramar, wasn't it? There was a little lap in Suramar where all of these nodes are. Where maybe hunting those down is the play to try and get some seams. Let me do a little 10-20 minute seam farm. See if we can get some lumber. See if we can get some skill points for mining. I kind of wish I didn't notice that mining is literally the only profession in the game I've never maxed out. Because now I know that, I feel the need to do something about it. There's a laystone seam, but where are the cave entrances? Is this one? No, that don't look right. Broken Shore, is that another good spot, is it? I'm open to suggestions here. With the Sky Golem nerf, was there any comment or explicit change, or do they simply not work in the beta? From what I've been told, they just don't work in the beta. I mean, there's every possibility that it's a bug. And it's an unintended change that's because of someone else somewhere else, but... if enough people go onto the beta and report it as a bug, who knows? A dev that is responsible for going through bug reports and fixing easy things might fix it even if it was an intended change. You know? Because I'm quite sure the left hand doesn't speak to the right hand at Blizzard. I've invested in like 30 of them, trying to decide whether to offload them or not. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like most things, we don't ever really get told. People find stuff, and we're just kind of left to assume what's intended and what's not. They normally spike nicely at the start of an expansion. Well, fun fact. And I think you probably know this as well as I do. The theory is, yes, that they do and they should and they will, but I've been bitten before by buying up Sky Golems to flip and then them not going anywhere in terms of price at the start of an expansion. So it's not the dead cert that it maybe has been, I don't think. Rich Fell Slate. Even rich ones don't give skill points now, so it's got to be seams only, I imagine. But yeah, if they've subtly been stealth nerfed and are no longer going to allow you to... There's only one thing that gives me a sniff of the fact that it might be an intended change, is the fact that they've also rebalanced herbalism and mining knowledge points to give you access to mounted gathering at the same expenditure. Which was either a complete accident or was something that they wanted to make sure that, right, people can mine whilst mounted, but minus druids, who they can't really take that luxury away from. Anybody who's not a druid has equal ways of getting it without a, should we say, maybe pay-to-win approach by just buying a Sky Golem. I don't know. It just seems coincidental that they've balanced the knowledge points for herbing and mining at the same time as also nerfing the Sky Golem. So, I don't know. It's just a bit sus. Do you need to do any quests before you can farm lumber? The only... not really. You do need to go get an axe from your neighborhood. You need this item in your bags, the harvesting hatchet, which comes from the lumberjack NPC in your neighborhood. But that's it. Once you start gathering up lumber, then you can also level up some professions if needs be. Elm Touch lumber, still 375 gold. Not the highest value lumber, but still good enough to pay attention to. Yeah, grab an axe is literally the only requirement. Even that's going away apparently. Soon, TM. For good reason though, because it's flipping annoying. Bonus tip, put another axe in your warbank. Buy 2, put 1 in your warbank. Then you won't accidentally lose the one on your character all the time. I think I'm trying to follow these rivers, but I'm clearly not quite in the right area. I'm just picking up every single ore node I spot, just to try and force spawn seams. But I'm clearly not quite in the right place. Oi, fuck off. Thank you, mobs. Wait, what? Give me pigeon form. Why no pigeon form? I'm not in combat. Apparently I'm in combat. Kill something. Fuck off! Is it one of these fellas? There we go. I would also point out it's actually a net loss in most cases to herb and mine whilst farming lumber. I'm only doing it because I also want to level the professions and have them fully maxed out. And I'm not so fussed about hyper optimizing gold per hour. But if you are just going for lumber, just pick up the lumber. Don't bother with anything else. The lumber's worth too much for you to waste time picking up herbs and ore in most cases, unless you've got a really good reason to. There are some exceptions, like corium ore, for example. In Outlands, you might still probably want to pick up. That stuff's worth so much that it's not worth flying
Seek out
past
the
it.
wizard and soothe their rage. I will beckon them to Shalaran.
The Felderoi were elves once. Now they are monsters, birthed in the chaotic energies of the failing Arkandor. They must be eradicated.
I might go try the Broken Shore soon, you know, because this is... Either I'm in the wrong spot, or I'm just not finding many caves that have got... Laystone deposit, rich laystone deposit. Need to make a little extra bonus route to follow, just for the seams. Hey, hang on, these look like the... Oh, okay, there's a seam. Now the question is how the flipping hell do we get into it? This is the trick more so than anything else. Figuring out where the Christ the cave entrances are. Hello? Is that a cave? Aha, Laystone seam is still green. Still only green though. It means it's only rarely going to give me a skill point. How the flippin' hell are you meant to get this to 100? This is bananas. We're going to need fell slate seams, maybe. Is there such a thing as a rich fell slate seam? I don't think there is there? Got an axe, but I don't see any lumber. Click it. There's a weird toggle on it. You got to use it to see lumber on the minimap. I mean, even casually running around doing this right now, you know, my focus isn't even on lumber right now. But we're still sort of tracking a potential upwards of 50k an hour. Now, 50k an hour is like account value. That doesn't mean you can quickly go to the auction house and make 50k. But it's 50k worth of stuff that, with a little bit of effort, you can turn into gold. And I would say it's far more stable than like farming transmog or something, where there's the risk you don't even get anything in the first place. But each to their own. Maybe a weird Bloodstone trade question. They bought back Comp Stomp, which is yeah. They forgot to update the bots from Season 1, so people farm an absurd amount of honor, plummeting the Bloodstone price. Should I buy some before that? No. It's the end of the season. It's the end of the expansion. That's why they're plummeting in price. Don't read into something that maybe isn't a something. In a week's time, they're useless. In a week's time, they're worth absolutely nothing. there's a new variation of it in Midnight, so the old those ones will only be used for the War Within PvP gear, also known as completely useless. Laystone deposit, Laystone seam. Where the is there's a cave. Oi! Fuck off! My seam! Get out of here! Yay! 82. Moving up in the world. Your market analysis though is on the right lines. You're thinking in the right way. You're trying to find out maybe why something has got cheap is you know, a good thought process to go through. But that's a good example of you could have almost convinced yourself that it was a good idea because you found something that could indicate to be why they've gone down in price. You've always got to be careful you don't fool yourself into thinking something's a good flip. But you're at least thinking about it in the first place is more than most people, what most people do, so don't be put off. Where the hell's all of these? Where is it? Am I being real dumb? Oh, there it is. It'd been 3 weeks before the launch of Season 3, it would have probably been a great investment. Yeah, exactly. The same thought process, just at a different time, would have probably made you a whole bunch of gold. It's just the fact that in 8 days, those things are basically vendor trash. Right, I am seeing an absolutely huge, distinct lack of any seams around here. Meaning I'm very tempted. Somebody mentioned the broken shore earlier as an alternative. That we can always give a go. Hello, map. Have I not unlocked it on this character? Oh, there we go. Am I guessing there's a bunch of seams in these caves or something? I would guess. We can give the broken shore a go. Is there anything I need to do to unlock it first, or can I just go straight there? Getting weird phasing here as well. There's only maybe 5 caves with seams, but there is at least some outdoors. Well, that's at least a bonus. Let's go have a look. Right, I might spend 10-20 minutes just like cleaning the zone, getting some bearings. Been a long time since I've been out here for the purpose of any form of farming, so Grab a few things along the way. Some trees out here as well, which is handy. Get some Gathermate nodes. I mean, Manthi did an investment-related vid about a year ago. Could be interested in. We talked a lot about patch cycles and their effect on the market. That's true, actually. Yeah, I should have pointed that one out. Yeah, but between patch cycles, there's always an opportunity. There's always opportunities. I quite cautiously would probably recommend most people steer clear of investments, though, unless you're already pretty well established. Mostly because there's as much of a risk of you losing gold as there is of you making gold. And if you don't have a lot of gold to begin with, you know, it's clearly not quite as serious, but like on the same level, if you work at McDonald's, you're probably not buying S&P 500 stocks, are you? It's the same sort of theory. You probably want to make sure that you've got, you know, you invest with gold that if you make more from it, great. If you lose it, oh well, I don't care. It was spare anyway. You know why the token spiked? TBC launch is a possible one, or TBC anniversary realm pre-patch or whatever the hell's going on. Oh, a Laystone seam just out in the wild. That's nice. Combination of that and the fact that there's probably right now a whole bunch of people thinking about, you know, cashing out to upgrade their account to midnight, because that's getting closer. There isn't really all that much incentive for players to be buying gold. I think Decor I think held the value of the token down. It wasn't big or as impactful enough to push the price of the token down all that much, but the handful of players that clearly went and bought a couple of tokens to buy some Decor, if anything, they normalized the price of the token for a while. This Broken Shore might be better for finding some seams for mining, but it is distinctly worse on the lumber front. Meaning, with lumber being the thing that actually makes this even worth considering doing, I might take the more slow and steady approach. Or, to be fair, I've probably got a fair amount of Legion lumber already. I probably don't need to worry about this too much, but... Here we go. Look, Laystone seam. How do we get there? Where are these entrances? That looks like a cave entrance. It's either a lot of people cashing out gold for tokens, or there probably just isn't that many tokens in the circulation, because you got to remember, for a token to exist, somebody out there wants to, or has the need to buy gold. How many people right now have the need to buy gold? I can't imagine the pot of tokens is very big at this point in the expansion. Hence why the price of, or the value of each token tends to steadily rise at this point. Because realistically, who's buying gold right now? So if the pot's not very big, it also doesn't take much to buy them out. Push the price up. Did I... Why is auto loot not working out here for some reason? Oh, a fell bloom. Oh, it ran away. I'm back. Son bitch. Oh yeah, random out in the open seam. Well, that's hey, that gave us a skill point as well, 83. God, it's going to be a real crawl to 100, isn't it? Surely these seams go grey at some point, though. Are we going to find a position where it's world quests only? It must be, right? It must just be about harvesting world quests only, which is real icky. That's real gross. Probably why I've never done this, because I've probably come to this conclusion at some point in the past that this is far too much like hard work. Yeah, the fact that there's basically no lumber out here as well is probably more of a problem than anything else. How do we get that fell slate seam? That's definitely something we want. Fell slate seams might be good business. Oh, they're yellow, look. Okay. A high chance of a skill point. 84. Beautiful. I have a guild bank full of old world mats that I want to get rid of. Do you think it's a good time to sell it now? There's no... The value of old world mats is never high enough for you to worry too much about whether it's a good or a bad time. Keep them if you feel that you have some use for them. Sell them if you don't. I generally tend to recommend most people just sell them because, you know, you can always buy them back again if you need. There is an argument to say that old school mats at the moment are probably quite high in value due to people leveling up old professions. But the point is most old school mats are not really worth much of anything anyway. You know. It might be, you know, if you have 100k of mats, it might be 100k or 110k depending on when you sell them. But the reality is it's not going to make that much of a difference. Like I said, I don't really see much point in holding on to old materials because it's not like they're ever going to not exist. If you ever so happen to need them, just buy them back again. I pretty much use the auction house as my personal bank. Put everything on the auction house, sell everything, and if you want it again in the future, you can buy it. Hoarding is a good way to not make a lot of gold. How do we get there? This cave? Is this a cave? It's not a cave. That's a cave. Decor rush has already happened. Sure, you can sell them now if you feel like you can get a good deal, great. But personally, if I was sitting on a stockpile of stuff, I'd wait for the next wave of items to be released. Unless we're thinking there isn't going to be any more old world decor. I don't think there's going to be any more old world decor. Oh shit, that wasn't a thing. What's going on there? I'm pleasantly surprised that they gave us something for every expansion, for every profession, from the word go. I wasn't even expecting them to do that. So I think old school decor is done now. I think what we have is what we'll get, and the Blizzard have kind of drawn a line under it now and said, right, yeah, that's a thing that's done. Any new crafted decor... We know there's a bunch of crafted decor coming in with the Midnight expansions, Midnight Professions. Outside of that, I don't see them adding any more. if you get into the habit of selling everything, you will 9 times out of 10 win. Because gold in your back pocket can be used for pretty much anything. Storing a stack of an old cloth, just in case you need it, is pointless. You're better off converting it to gold so that you can use that gold on whatever you need. And if you happen to need that stack of cloth again, just buy it again in the future. But so often people stockpile things and put it in a guild bank for a rainy day, and then it just sits there and is of actually no value to them long term anyway. What is this? What's going on here? Oh! Now Zygor's trying to tell me to go and farm the seams over in, Haha, clever. God, I like Zygor sometimes. It was telling me to get to 85 first, and now it's telling me that basically seams are going to be the only way to get to 100. Clever. I'd kind of already figured that out, but it's good that it is now saying, oi, go follow this path. Tell that to my 250 Black Lotus that got eaten by the Guild Bank squish. Yeah. Yeah. Just, you know, unless you have immediate need for something, just sell it. You can, it's just buy it back. And if you know, spunk the gold up the wall doing death rolls with guilds in between Mythic Plus runs, then, well, that's on you. But for the most part, the right answer is nearly always just sell it now, and if you need it again in the future, buy it back. Because of how the region-wide auction house works. That wasn't necessarily always true before the region-wide auction house, but now that there's just one big auction house for all materials and shit sells instantly and is basically always available 24 hours a day, there's not really any reason for you to stockpile anything these days. And this, like, sort of ties back a little bit to what Wu was saying earlier. We did a video on some investments and stuff like that, but that is like one investment cycle can be as long as 6 months. That means that you have to buy things way ahead of time, and you should only buy things with gold that is 100% spare that you definitely are not going to need in the next 6 months. Because you might have to buy things so early, wait for, you know, markets to crash and stay crashed for a while, and then wait for all of the speculation for a new season starting, and then wait for the prices to naturally rise after that new season has started. All of this could literally be a 6 month, you know, period. And that's for one cycle. So if you spend $1 million gold and you sell it for 1.5 million gold, sure, you've made 500k, but it's taken you 6 months to do it. There are quicker ways to make 500k in a 6 month period, I can tell you that for a fact. So this is why all sorts of investing, it looks attractive to people because it's, you know, the law of big numbers. Big, shiny numbers. People get sort of blinded by them, but not always is it really a great idea for most people to do. Queues are crazy fast. What with Comp Stomp? What's the major attraction for Comp Stomp? Farming the Marks of Honor, I guess, is the main thing, surely? Which, if you're a collector, is PvP, appearance, transmog, I guess, for the most part. Honor gets reset every season, so I can't imagine there's much of a cash out option right now. We mentioned how Bloodstones are going to be vendor trash in 8 days. Just the Marks of Honor for the Mog, yeah. . BFA recipes, some BFA recipes were bought with Marks of Honor as well, weren't they? I think. Problem with the regional auction house is that when something suddenly gets useful again, it gets immediately reset and all but one person has to deal with a steep cost increase. Does this mean it's worth hoarding everything? Probably not. Yeah, but as fast as those markets get, you know, reset, they come back down. And my point is that if you take 100 different items, that maybe happens on one of them. So you still win 99% of the time. And winning 99% of the time should cause you to have plenty enough gold to not worry about the 1% of the time where you lose and have to pay over the odds because somebody's flipped it. You know, once again, it's the law of averages. Not worth stockpiling one of everything or lots of everything just to maybe occasionally win the one-time Black Lotus doubles in price overnight, you know. My take, anyway. You can hold for years if you don't need the gold. That is stocked, for example, 20k Spirits of Harmony-ish from about 30 gold before Panda Remix, before we knew how it worked, selling them now for 150 gold each. Yeah, it's like, you know, it's one of those that if you are stockpiling with stuff that is gold that you have no desire to have access to, that's fine. But 99 times out of 100, I see this comment coming from people who are desperately trying to make gold and are careful about every penny they spend, you know. Oh, there's 2 fell slate seams. Are they in this cave? Please tell me they're in this cave. Cash money if they're in here. Any more? Okay. Woohoo! 86. Gave us a skill point. Are these the things that might spawn me the living fell slate thing? Living fell slate. How do we get the next rank of this? World fell slate creatures. Quest Andre. Is that going to come from killing these? Remember the mass ban wave here? People were hyper spawning these mobs. Yeah, I remember these back in the day were slightly problematic. Oh, hello. What do you want?
The reckoning is at hand.
Fell slate deposit. Wait, what? Have I had this quest the entire time? Oh, that was for the rank 2 fell slate deposit. What do I need for the rank 3? Something else. How do we get these ones? Where's the cave for these? There'll be more caves here that I don't know about. In here? Surely not. No. Ah, there's another cheeky cave at the top here, look. Sneaky. Sneaky, sneaky. Oh. Not that sneaky, sneaky then. Where the fucking hell are these ones? Wasn't I in here a minute ago? I was in here a minute ago. Not that one. Son of a... A cave entrance from this side somewhere. For me, it's about whether you enjoy the investment flipping. Does it give you the dopamine? Can you afford to not have the gold? And is your risk? What's your risk appetite? It's inherently more risky than just farming, but different strokes. Yeah, this is it. Like, it's depends what, you know, gets you off. I just tend to live by the theory that, like, investments are pretty risky. And you probably shouldn't be doing much of them until you've already got tens of millions of gold. How impactful is the investment into profession equipment that's ordered? Should I focus on getting those after Midnight comes out? Season 1's an absolute blast for profession gear, yeah. Because every single crafter needs a new set of profession tools. It's one that is very good Season 1, but drops off hard in Season 2 and Season 3. Whereas, like, regular crafted endgame gear for players is still just as popular, but doesn't have that same drop-off, really. Every season, people will need a new set of gear. Oh, we're getting some weird phasing on the go here. A world quest or something stupid. Yeah, some dumb phasing. Oh, it's because we're getting too close to the flipping... Yeah, that area. Because I haven't done the quests out here. Compstomp gives you the Alliance banner for taking 50 flags. Gimme decor. Oh, is there decor stuff in it as well? Oh, okay. Well, that's also probably half the reason why the queues are. Speedy, speedy. Oh, Laystone seam look grey. Oh, no. So is it Fell Slate seams only from this point on? Dear God. Why did they make Legion mining such a ball ache? That's what. No wonder I've never done this. Go Dala, pick up the magic message from Khadgar, and it's like 2 quests or something that gets rid of the phasing. It's quick and easy, is it? If I end up doing this too much, we'll consider that, yeah. Although, if I'm in a world where this is Laystone seams only, sorry, Fell Slate seams only, which are rare spawns of normal seams, jeez Louise. At least Zygor's pointing me in the right sort of direction to do this now. I can just follow an arrow, which is easier. I remember the last 2 levels were just to only do the world quest to mine the big infernal. Is that what it is? Are we going to get to a point where we can't even actually cross the finish line anyway? Like I said, there's no real good reason to be doing this right now. Other than sense of completionism in me. Forces me to do silly things occasionally. Well, there's a cave around here somewhere. Yeah, we're at 86 out of 100. 14 points, fell slate, seams, and world quests only by the looks of things. Now, I'm kind of meant to be whacking trees while I do this, but I'm getting far too distracted by looking for the seams, and I'm clearly not picking up the trees either. I think Starlight Rose rank 3 is also something I still technically need. Starlight Rose rank 3. Yep. The Rillian's Fall from in Dalaran. Does that the prerequisite to that is loot a thing from a herb, no doubt. Maybe you have to get the rank 3s for some of the other herbs first. Trigger a quest. The waters near this cave have seams too. Yeah, I'm trying to stick to the rivers a little bit. All this lumber I should be picking up. Between 300 and 700 gold every time I hit a lumber node. I do promise there probably won't be too many more days of this, though. We have desire to go and head over to the beta and do beta things, but until until we get the build, so we get the build that has to be turning up soon, where we get all of the profession changes and balances and that sort of stuff. Sure, I can keep myself busy on the beta if I really wanted to. I also kind of really want to chip away at this decor stuff whilst the going's good. It's a bit of a gravy train right now on decor, so... I do remember somebody saying they, like, back in Legion, farmed up like 10,000 Starlight Rose before they ever got the rank 3 recipe. So, I know there's an element of RNG in this that I might not persist with for very long. Missed the mailbox opening today, how was it? It was not a bad one. We broke the 1,000,000 today. Sunday seems to be a reasonably good day for decor.
We must bolster our ranks.
Kind of feels like a lot of people just piss around with decor on a Sunday evening,
To Shalaran.
which leads to some reasonable sales on a Sunday,
The Felderoi were
which I'll
elves
take.
once. Now they are
We did 6 million in revenue from decor last week,
chaotic energies of the feeling Arkandor.
which is, you know, without spending tens of hours every single day farming, I think I'm very happy with. I'm spending probably no more than an hour or two each day on buying items and relisting and that sort of thing. So I'm happy with the results. Drop rates for the rank 2 and the rank 3 Legion herbs is better now. I'd hope so. But yeah, I am literally on seams only by the looks of things. Seams only, and then world quests. So it might just be a case of, like, go whack at a few world quests occasionally. What we got? Primordial Fell Slate Deposits. Bright Laystone Ore. We do that one. Guide for this world quest has not yet been added. Where is it? Surma. One of you. Where's the mining one in Surma then? That one over there. Let's head over there real quick. Might get these world quests banged out quickly. See if we get a skill point or two from these. Whoa, hello. Who put a rock there? And then we might try a different zone. It's ridiculous as it sounds. 1 week before pre-patch, I might level up Kazalgar herbing and mining. Because I bet none of you have done any of that recently. Go on, give me 1 skill point per one. Oh, 87. Oh my god, these do give me skill points. 87, 88. Oh my god, we could be onto a win. $89. Oh, come on. This is going to put us at 97. You know what? I should have probably pushed to 90 and then come and done this quest. Let's see if I live to regret that. Is there no real reason to do Kazalgar gathering for gold? I mean, yeah, I mean, it's still worth. There's still money in it. No, not a lot, though. Everybody's trying to get rid of all of their War Within stuff at this point. Convert to raid for skill points. Does that work? No way that works. No way that works. Still gives me credit. Do I need somebody else in the group for it to actually convert to raid? the left side panel. It doesn't change it. Raids, legacy, start group, one of you. It doesn't convert it to a raid. You need 6 people in it to convert it to a raid. World boss? There's no way I'm going to get invited to any of these groups. Ah, shit. Can't do it until level 50. What are we doing in game at the moment? We're kind of trying to cheese Legion mining, believe it or not. The only profession in the entire game, I think, that I've never fully leveled up to 100. As wild as that sounds. Aha. Now it's a raid. Now that should not give me progress to the world quest. Oh, it still does! Damn you, game! Damn you, game, spoiling all my fun. Okay. Well, it was worth a try, wasn't it? Sneaky, sneaky. Well, that got us all the way up to 96 skill, which is significantly more than what we've been able to achieve so far. Now, the argument is I just wait until that's a daily quest again, don't I? And I do it again, but... Let's go see what this other world quest is about. Fell Slate Seam. How do we get that one? Where's the cave for that? This one. Oh, Fell Slate Seam. No, even Fell Slate Seams are grey now. Oh, well, I'm fucked then. It's world quests only from this point. Uh-huh. You will need to complete world quests to reach 100. Oh, well, there we go. Well, in that case, we've at least got as far as we can. I have 5 epic editions. Can I access the beta on all 5 of them? I guess so.
I can hear the scream of the earth. The Drogbar Shardmasters are performing a dark ritual that drives these crystal furies into a horrendous rage. The furies must be stopped before they cause untold damage.
Paystone scene. Yoink. You only need 1, then you can add accounts to it. Is that how it works? I don't know. I haven't tried that. Oh, 97? Oh, shit. These give me skill points as well. Oh, this could be it. This should be the money. 98. Oh no, wait, shit. Oh, no, that was another world quest. Was that another world quest? Yeah. Woo! I thought I'd done goofed and accidentally completed it before I should have done. $99. Matthews never makes mistakes. No, never. Right, this should be it. Legion mining 100. Boom. Finally, only... When did Legion come out? Oh, God. Bots used to abuse the mining world quest like hell. Well, you get bright laystone ore now. You don't even get proper laystone ore. So you get a quest item. You don't get... Oh, but maybe back in the day you got... Yeah, you could get proper lacerite from them. I don't know. Okay, well there's that. Only 10 years late. The next one is actually to get the rank 3 recipes for everything. That's the next trick. That trick can definitely wait. I am going to finish the world quest, yes.